You're watching the 2020 SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look into the Texas Lutheran University Bulldogs softball program. TLU coming off an outstanding season in which they finished 40-8 on the year, 21-1 in SCAC play, winning their sixth straight SCAC tournament title and regular season championship, on their way to the Division III National Championship, the first in program history. TLU will once again be led by head coach Wade Wilson, along with senior shortstop Cassie Roche. And Coach Cassie, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Russell.
Coach, we'll get started with you. You're going into your 9th season as the head coach there in Seguin, but this year you return as the defending national champions. What did you learn about your team and program on your run to the national title that you think will help this team going into the challenges of a new season this year?
And I've talked about this several times since then, is that we weren't very good a month prior to the national championship, and found a way to turn it on, and won 19 of our last 20 games, and played as well as any team I've ever coached in the playoffs, and in particular the national championship. So I think the question, what did I learn, is that it only takes a little bit to get you going, and you never know what's in store for you. So our kids turned the corner and played really well when they needed to.
Cassie, you sit there now, a national champion as well, returning as a senior. What continues to motivate you, and how have you as a leader tried to help sort of reset going into this season to kind of appreciate what last year was, but refocus and get ready for your senior year this year?
Well, we actually just had this conversation that we're not going into it in a mindset of we're defending this national championship. Just going in there, obviously our goal is to win another national championship, but just taking it day by day and being present every day at practice and just being all in every day and not getting too carried away with what happened last year, but just being present with what's to come this year and investing into that.
Looking at this lineup, Coach, you return your top 6 hitters in terms of hits, all having 30-plus hits. In all, 410 of the 469 hits from a season ago return. With all that experience, does that at all change your approach for you and your staff in terms of what you can do in preseason? And what are you looking for as far as kind of taking that experience and seeing them continue to grow as hitters?
We've just finished our first 2 practices, and getting through those, after the first 2 practices, we're like, whoa, those both went really well. It's scary. And Cass and I talked about this earlier, that, I think my coaching style, I lose a little edge when everything is going really well. That how I motivate our kids is being able to critique and criticize and to stay on them. So that's scary, but we do have a lot returning. And the key for us is, one, is team chemistry, and we've got some new kids and lost some key kids that were good teammates. If we can maintain that chemistry and stay together and everybody understand and accept their role, I think we've got a good chance to be a really good softball team.
Cassie, as a team, this Bulldogs group posted a .967 fielding percentage last year. That was the highest for this program since 2015, and the 5th time in the last 6 years TLU has led the SCAC in terms of fielding percentage. You're a huge part of that at that shortstop's position. How important is that to this team's success, and what is key to becoming a strong defensive team?
Oh, it's huge. Our pitchers usually are doing their job, so it's our job to take care of what comes at us, and just to keep the mistakes minimal, not to let them lead to other mistakes. So he has a saying, he tells us to take care of business as business comes, and it's that simple. Just take care of business as it comes and get the job done. Do your part, and yeah.
Again, you're watching the 2020 SCAC Spring Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Texas Lutheran University softball program. We're joined by head coach Wade Wilson, along with senior shortstop Cassie Roche. And Coach, experience returns across the board for this team, not only in the lineup, as we talked about, but in your pitching staff as well. This is a group that posted a SCAC best 1.67 ERA a season ago. It starts, obviously, with Kayla Oliveira, but you have pitchers returning in terms of Cassidy Raines, Jordan Bishop, all return, who had big moments for you in the circle last year. Where do you see this staff sort of shaping up, and what are you excited about with this group heading into the season?
I think experience is huge, and I didn't realize this summer, but we had a different pitcher in the circle when we won the conference championship, the regional, the super regional, and then Chastity Raines, of course, in the circle when we won the national championship. So we had 4 different pitchers that were in big moments last year. We've added 5 new pitchers this year who I think will contribute. So our depth last year was really nice. It's going to be twice of what we had last year. So got a good group, and it's just they're all fighting for innings. And I think it's the same with our offensive, defensive, and our players is that they can't all pitch at the same time. So we're going to have to figure that out, and they're going to have trust in me and trust in each other. And I like our chances, though.
Cassie, you enter your senior season with 114 total hits to this point in your career. You're coming off a junior season in which you posted career highs in terms of RBIs with 32 and home runs at 6. Just sort of speak to your approach at the plate. What's working well for you when you're comfortable up there in that batter's box?
I'm most comfortable when I'm keeping it simple and I'm not in my head, and just see the ball, hit the ball. It really is that simple. Once you get beyond that, it gets complicated, and just making minor adjustments that need to be made to, with my swing. But other than that, just keeping it simple, trying to get hits for my teammates and put the ball where it needs to go to move runners and so on.
Coach, there's so many positives when it comes to this team and the outlook going into this season, but preseason is a unique opportunity in which you can maybe really focus on some things that maybe aren't as strong or things that you think of in terms of as strengths with this group. What are some of those things that you're going to try and sort of focus on with this team to try and get them better as they prepare for this 2020 year?
I don't know. We've always kind of taken that as it comes as well. Our opponents usually let us know what we're weak at. And this year, I don't think it's going to be any different. We're playing as tough a schedule as we've ever played. We're in 3-game series now, so that opens up some more games for some preseason games. So we're headed out to Tucson and going to play 10 teams out there. 6 of them really, really good, or 7 of them really, really good. And the other 3 were playoff type teams last year. So we'll have our hands full, and they're going to let us know where we're weak and what we need to work on, and that's why you play those games, is to get you ready for that.
Finally, Cassie, to wrap things up with you, is you've had some discussions with your teammates and you've looked ahead to this season about some of the goals for this year. What have those discussions looked like, and what are some of those goals for this 2020 Bulldogs softball program?
I would say our first meeting we talked about being a good teammate, so just being selfless. As seniors, we have a lot of seniors leaving, and just to what are we going to leave them with, and to think about the next group, but also be present here and just doing our part, leading well, leaving them with good leadership skills and so on. Just being selfless, thinking about the people around you, and worrying about how you can uplift them and make them better. And it comes when you do that with yourself. So.
And finally, Coach, as we wrap things up, this season is successful if what plays out on the diamond for you. What are you looking from this, women's program in this 2020 year, coming off a national championship, as you continue to build things there in Seguin?
I think we're just going to try to stay on track. I think I think it's a double-edged sword. If we try to go out and live up to that every single time, where you're trying to beat last year's deal, it's not. It's about us. Making relationships and building and trusting that, and trying to be the very best team that we can be. And I think if we take care of that, then the rest of it will fall in place. If that results in another national championship, great. And if it doesn't, then we're going to know that we've given everything we can to be the best that we can. So I think that's our ultimate goal.
The Texas Lutheran University Bulldogs softball program, again, the TLU will head into the season under the guidance of head coach Wade Wilson and senior shortstop Cassie Roche. TLU will get things started on February 3rd at home when they take on Hudson Tillotson. Coach, Cassie, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Russell.